Hi guys, in today's video I want to touch on a very sensitive subject, which is screen time and babies. If you want your child to reach their full potential, you cannot afford not to know this information. I will share with you my personal experience when it comes to screen time and babies and toddlers. I will also share with you some scientific data from the experts in the field. Let's define screen time. Screen time is the time your child spends watching cartoons, playing video games, or using gadgets like smartphone or an iPad. So I just want to tell you a little bit about my experience with screen time. So as a new mom, you really don't know what the hell you're doing. And I guess everybody can associate with that. So as a new mom, I went to the doctor, obviously to the pediatrician, whatever, when they're babies, you go like every couple months. And they give you those flyers, and I believe the doctor said that it was okay to show them a little bit of screen time, but make sure they don't see anything scary, and it's not more than 30 minutes a day, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly how it went, but I just remember there was no like clear restrictions on any of that, or the pediatrician never warned me in any way, shape, or form that I should not be showing any kinds of TV or iPads to the child. So and you as a mom, you get busy and you need to get stuff done, and I noticed that if I put on a little bit of cocoa melon things were running a lot smoother, especially when they're eating. They would eat a little bit more than normal, and I like that, and I could of course get some work done. I could get some free time while the kid was, which I thought, enjoying himself and watching some educational cartoons. So fast forward to 2 years of age, I noticed that Joey, my son, was not saying that many words. So he was saying about 30 words at that time. And the reason why I know is because I had to write them down and bring it to my pediatrician and ask them, was it normal? And the pediatrician said, he might need some speech therapy. So this is when my red flags went off. I got all alarmed and scared. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Because aside from the screen time, I spent a lot of time with my child, which I thought teaching him, reading to him, and all of that. But all in all, speech development, that's the highest layer of the development. It signals how well the child is developed. And my son was speech delayed. I knew kids at younger than, well, a little bit younger than he was, or about the same age. They were already giving 2 to 3 word combinations, and my child could barely say a couple words. So it was just I just remember going back to that time, and I was freaking out. We did speech therapy. We were able to get him on track really quickly. I was wondering maybe he was a little bit speech delayed because he was bilingual, but the pediatrician and everybody I talked with said it shouldn't be, because they should still say the same amount of words as any single lingual child would. So that should not be it. And as the speech therapist was coming over and talking to us, I became really friendly with her. She was wonderful. And she said that it's very, very common, and it's becoming a big thing. They cannot get enough employees to come to the houses to see those kids, because their demand is so high and not everybody gets help. That's how bad it was. And that's kind of everything clicked. And I really think the correlation is definitely there between the screen time and speech delays. So if your child is experiencing any kind of speech delay, cut back on the screen time, or my recommendation would be just eliminate it completely. So why is screen time so damaging to your children? Screen time really limits your child's movement. So when your child is sitting there while you're thinking they're learning some new songs and some movements or whatever, they're actually not learning much at all. For the kids that are under the age of 3, they get their understanding of the world through 3D experience. So what I mean by that you know, they don't like, if they see something they've never seen in real life on the screen, they will not get a good understanding of what that subject is. They really need to touch it. They really need to feel the texture, the temperature, the taste. You know, as you know, like a lot of babies, they put everything in their mouths. So they really need to experience like the objects that way. Otherwise, they're just white noise. They don't understand it. So you're thinking like, oh, he's looking at the xylophone in the Cocomelon cartoon. They know what xylophone is, but they don't. They really have no idea what that is unless they see it in real life and like play with it and like take it in their mouth. They will not understand what the xylophone is. So don't understand that this is all false advertisement. This is all meant to like suck your child in, and not, maybe their not really intention is to maybe really educate kids. I don't know. Maybe in certain circumstances, maybe there is a good use for a Cocomelon cartoon, but definitely not for a kid under 3 years of age. The third reason why iPads are so damaging, and not just iPads, the screen, the video games, all of that, is because they are addicting. So kids under 5, they really don't have much of self-control, as you know. Like based on my experience, like if I don't ask them to turn it off, and if I don't set clear limits about like cartoons or candies or anything that's addicting, that's sweet, they love, they will not do it. Under 6, they really don't have self-control. So it's really, really hard for them to turn it off or to say enough is enough. They actually cannot, they're not capable of doing that. So therefore, you know, the more they do it, the more they want to do it, and they cannot like control it. So this is why it's better to not give them iPads or screens until the age of 5 if you can help it. Unfortunately, I gave in. I give them 15 minutes a day just because you know, they're really like, I feel like some of the like those Russian cartoons that I show them, they are somewhat educational, and I like watching them with them, so it's like more of a family time or like a quality time that I can spend with them, and I think it's okay. I really do. I mean, you know, nobody's perfect, so I do that. But I just know, I see it all the time when I go to the grocery store. I see people like on their the kids on their iPads the whole time they're doing grocery shopping, or like there are a lot of YouTubers, mom out there, and I see them, you know, the kids are on the I don't know how long they are, and I cannot be judgmental that way, but I just see it so much and it really breaks my heart. Alright, so in this part of the video, I want to give you some clear guidelines on what the experts recommend on how to introduce a gadget and how to use it. So rule number 1, don't use screen time or any kind of gadget while the child is eating or going to the potty. So just don't do it. They need to really like eat, and so their senses really like work, and they know when they're full or where they go when they're going to the bathroom. They really need to like understand their bodies, and iPads and all the screens, they will take away that sensors, and just the brain cannot focus on that as much. So no gadgets while the child is eating or going to the bathroom. Alright, rule number 2, no screen time 1 hour before and 1 hour after bedtime. Rule number 3, don't use screen time as a reward mechanism. So it's very important not to bring any more value to this screen time than it already has in the child's mind. So just set clear, like not clear rules, but clear you know, times when the child can watch a cartoon. Say, do it like after you come back from a walk, or do it after lunch, something like that. But don't say, and I'm actually guilty of that, don't say, oh, you can watch a cartoon if you finish your puzzle or whatever, or if you clean up. Don't use that as a reward. Rule number 4, don't use that gadget to distract. So don't give them iPads or whatever, phones while you're shopping. Find something better to do with your child. Ask them to like help out find the groceries instead, or if you're waiting in line, just play some word game or talk to them. I know it's hard, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Final rule is set clear limits. So it's actually working pretty well. I tell my kids that, okay, you can watch for 15 minutes, and I have Alexas, like the home, I guess, home entertainment systems. I don't know what they're called, but those things that, you know, talk to you. And I probably should get rid of all of that, but it's actually helpful for timers. So I use it for timers a lot. Ask your child, or tell your child you have 15 minutes, and I would say, Alexa, timer 15 minutes. So they know that they only have 15 minutes. And I would do a countdown. So 5 minutes before it's over, I'll tell them, okay, you have 5 minutes left. 2 minutes before it's over, okay, you have 2 minutes left. 1 minute before it's over, I say you have 1 minute left. So they know the time is almost up, and they're okay turning that thing off and being done with it. But the thing is, you have to really follow up. So when 15 minutes is done, you really have to take it away, or you have to tell them now you have to turn it off. Because if you don't, that's really another issue, because then they'll learn, okay, I can trick my mom and or dad and play a little bit longer, and then it's going to be like a problem when you're going to try to take it away. So set clear limits, tell them ahead of time, and then when the time is up, the child, maybe you can do it in the beginning, but now my children turn it off. So that's just wonderful. So to summarize, try not to use any gadgets or any screen time before the child is 3. Ideally, don't use them until the age of 5, because self-control is not developed. The child can really only learn the outside world through motion, through experiences, through touching, and by limiting their movement, you're limiting their development. So, and after that 3 years of age, if they don't utilize those neurons, those connections will die, and you will never be able to get that time back. So just don't do it. If you are gonna start using adding screen time after the child turns 3, do it in a smart way. Set clear limits, 15 minutes a day. That's more than enough. Do the countdown before you turn it off, so there is no tantrums. Yeah, just understand that this stuff is addicting, just like it is to an adult, but the kids just cannot control it. And understand that you can still educate your child, but just do it in a responsible, clear, rule way, and you're gonna be just fine. So just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, I think this is pretty much everything I wanted to say, and I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be a long video, and I'm really sorry, but I needed to get this one down. It's as I mentioned, this topic is just so important to me, and I think this world is really like getting not better but worse, and a lot of it is the reason why it's getting worse is because the children are not getting enough attention, and they're not getting enough the right exposure to the right things. We're living in such unprecedented times. Like our grandparents, our parents, they did not have to deal with this. We're like the first generation where we have to really control everything, like from like I don't know how social media is gonna go yet. That's gonna be another video just about that. But we're living in such a world where like nobody dealt with this before. Previous generation never did, so we are not getting enough guidance. So it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to a child's brain development. Better be on the conservative side. Yes, it's going to be harder as a mom, I know. It's hard without any screen time, because if you can give them the screens, your life is going to be so much easier, but you will be paying the price down the road when the child is going to school, when they're going to have attention deficit disorders because they cannot concentrate. Because when they're watching those screens, they are concentrated. That artificial, concentration is taking, like it's done by the screens. It's not done because they want to learn. And then when it's going to be time to sit there and learn and read a book, it's going to be so hard for them. And guess what? And I hate to say that, but it's gonna be parents' fault because they did it to their child. So let your child be bored. It's more than fine. It's actually really good for them. Be bored with them, and before you know it, they'll find something to do. So thanks so much for watching. I know it was a long video, but I swear this is the end of it. Please share if you find this helpful, and I'll definitely see you in my next one. Okay, I have my little guy here with me, and we're gonna tell you why we don't watch cartoons.
Это мультик. Мультик. Это мультик.
See? This is the reason why.
Почему мультик?